Okay, so the first thing we are going to work on is going from supine to rolling supine to prone. So what we're going to do for this first one, we are going to grab by the ankle, the opposite side that we're rolling onto. We're going to bend it, bring it up, and then start to bring it across their body. And this should initiate rolling already. If not, we can cue the baby out here so it tries to reach, and then that will cue the baby to roll onto their stomach. And then rolling from stomach back on to their back, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the side they're rolling onto, the leg and the arm are both straight. I'm going to grab by the ankle again on this front foot. I'm going to bend the knee as much as I can, and then I'm going to try to turn it a little bit so to try to get the baby's foot flat on the floor. And that should cue the baby to try to push in with their leg. If they're not rolling all the way over, we can cue the baby to see if they can reach, and then I can cue them up higher like this with my fingers or a toy to see if they'll follow, and then roll onto their back. Next thing we're gonna do, since we're in supine, we're gonna work on sitting. So I'm gonna grab I initially would be over there since I'm just rolling it. So I could roll to you, but I'm gonna grab this opposite arm, I'm gonna reach across the body, and then I'm going to cue at the hip. I'm gonna push down and then also cue under the baby's arm here. So I'm gonna push the hip down into the floor and kind of push up right here under the armpit, and that will get them into sitting. And then going back into supine, I couldn't find much information on this anywhere in the slides, in the book, anything like that. So I'm just gonna guess that this might work. So we're gonna reach out to the side so the baby kind of gets into that side lying position that what we were in going into sitting, and then I'm going to cue the hip here in the back. Since the baby's head will be on the floor, we're going to cue the back and shoulder to roll onto the back. So if we are going from prone to sitting, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull the hips back so they're kind of on their knees, and then I'm going to push the hips to one side, or drop the hips to one side, and then the same thing, I'm going to cue this hip up here and then cue under the armpit. So I'm going to push this hip down and then cue this one to push up with their arm. And then going back into prone, we can put a toy out like on a diagonal, or we can just have the baby, we're going to help them reach out on a diagonal, and this leg already is starting to straighten out. The other one wasn't so much yet, so we're just going to use the baby's arms and then just slide out a little bit farther, and that's gonna help pull on those hips to keep them straight. Now, working on 4-point, we're gonna have the baby in prone. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be behind, and then we're gonna lift or pull up on the shoulders so the babies kind of go up on their hands. And we're gonna pull up to see if we can get their arms as straight as we can. And then once those arms are straight and they're holding that position, we're gonna grab the hips and pull back so they're on their knees as well. So then they'll be on that good 4-point position, arms straight and on their knees. And then if we are having our crawling baby, this doll's kind of hard to work on some of this stuff with. I'm gonna block their feet with my leg. And then we're also gonna grab the hips to cue them to push up. And then I can use my thumbs to hit these back extensors to see if they will pull their torso up like that.